Hello, and thank you for joining us on Third Eye Africa TV, reaching you from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Charles Agedu. You're welcome. It's time again for us to, look at the stories in front pages of our newspapers today, the month of August. It's the 5th day of August, and to be interesting to see what we have in our major dailies today. And of course, I'm not going to be doing that alone. Today I have a guest, and a special one at that, in the person of Barrister Ogochukwu Isiguzo. He's here with me in the studio, and he's going to be joining me. We are going to be having chit chats over the major stories on our papers today. Of course, Ogochukwu, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful. Thanks for having me.
It's been a while.
It's good to be on Third Eye again.
Yes. You are our August visitor. Some time ago, we had Ogochukwu in the studio, and it was interesting.
Yes.
And I decided to bring him back to you today. And I am sure that he's going to be doing justice with me to the major stories today without wasting much of the time we have, because our time is so short on this segment. We'll go straight to the first paper we have today, and that is, we begin with Daily Trust. Daily Trust newspaper today has a major bold headline that says WAEC records worst results in 5 years. Yeah, that's the boldest headline on Daily Trust today. And of course, if you go to the below the nameplate, we have again Tinubu rewards athletes with 150 million naira each, national honors. Of course, we know we just had one that was trending, whether or not the athlete that just won the WAFCON Cup finals should get as much as that amount of money. Of course, I'll just hold on for Ogochukwu to come to that when it's time for us to take a look at some of these stories together. And below the picture story, of course, the picture story, we have of course, some of these athletes, walking the street with the trophy they just won. But below that picture, we have a story that says bandit raid Zamfara villages, abduct 24 again. So, and I want us to look at this paper, Ogochukwu. Which of these headlines caught your attention the most? Of course, we have ex-soldiers protest unpaid entitlement still below the picture, below the nameplate. So which of these stories from Daily Trust is catching your attention this morning?
Well, the headline about the WAEC results is very, very, very interesting. When I came across the news some time ago that the WAEC was going to go by CBT, because the headline says that the parents are blaming WAEC for the poor performance of students at that WAEC examination. When I got the information at first that WAEC was going to go by CBT, I raised concerns. I raised concerns. WAEC is not JAMB. WAEC is not any of those exams you just do something like A, B, C, D option questions. WAEC, we even demand essay. Do you expect how many children in Bekwara local government of Cross River State have used computer and used it comfortably? How many of our schools in Nigeria have a functional computer lab or computer center where children effectively can use computers? And these are students who have never been effectively exposed to computer. I went to a school that was located in a core village. How many people in those places have children between the ages of 10 and 16, which is the standard ages for for secondary school have access to good computer knowledge. And in their XS3, their final exams, you are now asking them to come and write essay questions or answer essay questions with CBT method. You will certainly not get good performance. So WAEC needs to reconsider this CBT thing. For me, before you introduce something, you look at the background, you look at how effective it will be. On the other hand, you also have the attitude of students these days to their books and education. Social media, the phone has caused a lot of damage. A lot of children. I had my first phone as a gift for WAEC, for passing WAEC. But now you find children in JS3, JS2,
They are
SS2.
they're using Android
I'm
phones.
using Android phones. They are steadily on social media. They have access to these things. And so at the end of the day, they will not be able to give attention to the academics as they ought to. So that is why you see some of these poor results.
Okay, so you are attributing, because in 5 years they've not recorded this kind of performance before. So you are also attributing it to the method that was the exam was conducted.
Certainly,
with.
that
so
is-
the parents, in one hand, might be correct for blaming WAEC over the poor performance of these students in WAEC.
I believe so, because CBT is not a system that could be applicable comfortably for WAEC.
For exams like WAEC.
For exams like WAEC.
Okay.
They should reconsider it.
All right. So would you want to respond to any other story? From
Well,
that
I also
request?
saw the issue of the soldiers protesting. I also saw the issue of the reward given to the Super Falcons that won the African Nations Cup. I also saw on the headlines today the same thing for the Tigress that also won the Basketball Nations Cup and all that. Well, it has sparked a lot of controversies. People are like, you are owing military or paramilitary officials who have retired, and you are here spraying money on sports entertainers. The truth of the matter is that the entertainment industry right now seems to be paying the young people a lot. $100,000 for each and a flat.
Do you think it's too much?
I don't think it's too much, but I think that we have a bad reward system in Nigeria. It's not about this particular case. It's general. Go to every of our facets, and it has touched so much on our labor laws. See, there's so much that needs to be done to our labor law, because today it has so much affected the reward system, coupled with the issues of unemployment. You see somebody who will be doing a job that he should be paid more than what he ought to be paid.
Okay.
But he has no choice.
Like the doctors and the nurses,
They have no
that
choice.
are any as low as 200 to 250,000
yes.
a month, and they are all jackpot.
Meanwhile, they are taking very serious medical risk doing their jobs. So you also compare it. Take the military, for example.
Okay.
The people who are at the war front, what is their earning compared to their superiors who are sitting in the offices?
Okay.
The reward system in Nigeria is somehow, and that is why you are seeing the kind of complaints we have. So we must look at our reward system. Why will a soldier, I was reading something on social media yesterday, a soldier was complaining that after serving the country for 30 plus years, that even the president cannot work without military escorts. So why will he not get good compensation after doing such a job for 30 plus years, compared to some young people who went to Morocco, played the Nations Cup, and came back with victory? And interestingly, what was the reward for winning the Nations Cup from CAF? $1 million.
Yeah, that's the question I was going to ask, to recap what you were just saying. That my view on this reward and all of that was that how much does Nigeria stand to gain for winning that cup, for winning that trophy? So if we had won the trophy, fine. But how much are we getting as a nation for winning the gold trophy? So if you compare that to how much was expended on rewards, if it does not balance, because it should be business. So I heard somebody saying yesterday that the reason why we have this, like at the below the picture on that same daily trust, you see that bandits are still carrying on their, attacks and abduction in Zamfara.
State, yes.
So now it raised the issues of how well are these people motivated to people that are in the forefront, like you rightly mentioned, to combat crime and fight criminality. They see this. How would you want them to feel? I'm not against you rewarding people that have gone to win a trophy for the nation, but how much are you spending to reward compared to how much you stand to gain from that very victory? So let's quickly go to the Guardian newspaper. We have the boldest headline from the Guardian, which says desperation heightens as 2027 campaign begins in 15 months ahead. We still have like 15 months to the next general elections, and desperation has already, heightened. And you can see the pictures of the big wigs in front page of the Guardian newspaper. The president is there, the former vice president is there, Peter Obi is there, Kwankwaso is there. Of course, the INEC chairman is by the corner there with them. So they are just trying to paint. I think Guardian is just trying to give us, the top players and the person that holds the whistle, the referee, which is the INEC, because they sound like the referee in this game of election. So, and below the nameplate, you have same story talking about 2027 Southwest PDP kicks as Wike backs Tinubu, gives fresh conditions for peace. I don't know. Wike is giving fresh conditions for peace. Are we in war? Is it a do or die affair? So I'll let you react to that when it gets to the time. Petrol soars to 995 naira per litre as NNPCL marketers hike prices. Still below the nameplate, APC alleges El-Rufai article constitutes threat to Nigeria's peace unity. I don't know where that is coming from. If how can your opposition now be a threat to national unity? I don't know. That is what APC is alleging, that El-Rufai and El-Rufai and Atiku constitute threats. So if you come down below the picture, we have Tinubu rewards the Tigress with national honors, $100,000 each. I think the WAFCON was $150,000 each. Then now the Tigress is they are collecting each $100,000. You mentioned that earlier. And still below, Obedient Rights Obi complain of exclusion in coalition move. Okay, so that's Obi's supporters, talking there. There's a corner pic that says Aso Rock, White House reaffirm trade ties despite tariff concerns. Okay, and still the corner piece there. Nigeria's oil output hits 1.78 million barrels per day in July, reduces H1,5,003 billion revenue. I don't know what that means short for. I am not inclined in how many revenue and how many they are shorting fall in their oil calculations, because if you listen to these figures sometimes you want to have migraines. We are, earning so much from sales of oil. We have earned so much from the subsidy withdrawal, but we don't seem to feel that we still borrow so much. So where are these monies going to? I would like you to react to some of these stories from the Guardian newspaper this morning.
Okay, 2027, desperation heightens. The truth of the whole matter is that Nigerians wish, I use the word wish, Nigerians only wish that they have an electoral system they can trust. For me, it's only a mere wish. I also saw, probably later we'll look at it, a lot of people are hoping that 2027 will be better than 2023. But no matter what the desperation is all about, I keep on saying it, until we do an amendment to our Electoral Act so that INEC will have the duty to defend their results at the courts, not the petitioner or the person who lost coming to prove that INEC did not conduct a proper election. Let INEC come to court, If a petitioner files or complains, let the INEC come to court to show the court that they did the right thing. Until we have done our electoral act, done that amendment, we will just be running around the circles as far as I'm concerned. So it's not about the whole desperation, it's about the system that has been put in place. Good enough, like you mentioned, the INEC chairman's picture is there as the whistle, as the referee who will be in charge of the whistle. If there are no proper rules and implementation of the rules for the game, you will end up not getting any good results. So it's not about desperation. Till now, this is 15 months to the election, and we have not had any concrete electoral reform from the National Assembly. Nothing solid to hold on to. One would think that from all that played out in the last election, 2023, there are a lot of things that need to be amended. But one of them is this issue of electronic transmission of results. So until we're able to get these things right, it's not about the heat created by whosoever is interested, whether the president, whether the former vice president, whether Peter Obi or Alhaji Kwankwaso. The most important thing is put in a system that will work with laws, not a system that will not work. You go to the IRF, the kind of results I saw on the IRF, they were quite sad that INEC could, upload mutilated results on IRF. It was something that was too bold for me. So can we go away from such situations? It's not about all this desperation of 2027 and what Southwest PDP is talking about with Wike. Whether there is war or peace in the PDP, it is their internal party issues. They should be able to deal with it. If they are not able to deal with it, they will go into the elections with it, and they will also see the results. Despite their internal issues, the electorate still have the final say. Mm-hmm. Even if you are having war in your party, if the people like your party and the candidate, they will go for your candidate and they will go for your party.
Absolutely.
But the issue still lies with INEC. I keep on saying it until our electoral act is amended, so that INEC will be the person to come and defend his own results in courts.
Okay, now let me take you on there. Is there a proposal is there a proposed amendment that states what you have just proposed, which is INEC being the one to defend the petitioner's claims as against the defendant coming to say, I won?
In electoral litigation, when you go to the tribunal to complain, the burden of proof is on the person who is complaining that INEC did not do the proper thing. Okay,
not even the defendant.
No, the defendant is the person who won the election.
I know, yes.
So he's only challenging that result against INEC.
So you that challenged the result, you'll be the one to prove
that INEC did not do the proper thing in declaring that person.
The winner is just waiting for you to prove your case.
He's just waiting for you to prove your case.
So now I'm asking, is there a proposal for that amendment?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, and I don't think so. Because if there was any proposal such as that, it would have been a heated issue for discussion by now.
Absolutely.
A lot of people would have been talking about it.
Yes.
But I don't think there is anything like that. So until we do something like that, because today what we have is the popular go to court. Why would somebody? Because they know the outcome of what the outcome of the court. So, but if you are the one who will have the duty to go and defend your results in court, you won't tell somebody to go to court.
It's easy to say go to court.
You won't tell somebody to go to court because you know the burden that is on you to come and show that what you have done is proper according to law. And if it's not proper according to law, what you have done will be thrown away. So until we have done such an amendment, put the right structure into place, the whole desperation does not, it's not.
I really hope our legislators are listening to us right now and take note of what Barrister Isiguzo is proposing we do to have a headway in our electoral process. Do you have any other story from the Guardian you would like to react to?
Well, APC's allegation against Rufai and the rest. APC should not forget that they are a product of opposition. They gave the PDP a run for their money.
Absolutely.
Both via negative means and both positive means. So they should not think that it will be an easy ride. If some people have come together to form a coalition, APC is a product of coalition. So why would they think that they are going to be a threat to national security or national peace? APC should just do the right thing so that the coalition will not have anything to say.
Okay, let's go to leadership newspaper. I know we have a lot to talk about this morning, so let me just quickly run through them so that we'll be able to touch at least
Everything.
all the stories in the major papers this morning. We move to leadership, where we have the boldest headlines there, talking about as continuous voters registration begins August 18. Parties vow to mobilize citizens. CSOs demand more centers. Centers for what now? That's more centers, registration centers.
Yes.
Okay, so that you were talking about people, the followership, the voters being ready to do the right thing as well. That no matter what APC does or PDP does or LP or the coalition ADC does, it still depends on when Wike says there will be peace and all of that. And if the voters prefer the candidate, whether Wike likes it or not, they will do the right thing. But I just hope Nigerians take note of 18th August and go out there if you are 18 and try to get your voters registered so that you can have a say in the next general election and subsequent election and by-elections, of course, and all of that. And if you move up to below the nameplate, you have Nigeria's oil production surpassed 1.8 million barrel per day in July. Okay, I think that was one of the stories I took earlier that got me confused with some figures when I started seeing billions and all of that. Of course, I'm always concerned about these billions and billions that we keep, raking in from oil and all of that. Where does it go to? And the WAEC 2025 result failure is still captured there as candidates perform poorly in English, mathematics. Those are the major subjects. If you perform poorly in English and mathematics, I wonder which other subject will take you there. And coming below the picture, you have below the picture on the leadership newspaper, it said 4 in police net over theft of day-old baby in Ekiti. Wow. That's a sad one from below the picture on leadership newspaper this morning. I think those are the stories that made bold headlines on the paper this morning. Which one do you want to react to quickly, Barrister?
I've spoken about the WAEC.
Yeah.
But
what about the mobilization?
The
party vowing to...
Yes, very, very important.
Yeah.
Nigerians have to... You see, the 2023 election really killed the people. A lot of Nigerians are disenchanted right now from participating in elections. But however, the truth of the whole matter remains that, like I earlier said, the power remains with the people. Nigerians have to vote. People whose children are gotten to the voting age limit should encourage their children to participate. People who need to do a change or transfer in their voters card should also do so that they can participate in these elections and make determined choices for the country. I believe that voters' education is increasing in Nigeria daily. People are getting wiser, people are getting better, and people should participate. People should go and participate in this whole voters' registration scheme and ensure that they have the opportunity to also contribute to nation building. I saw one headline there. Before I get there, there was an issue in the story for the voters registration.
Okay.
One of the CSOs
demanding more centers.
Yes, they are demanding more centers, and they were also demanding that Section 10 Sub 2 of the Electoral Act be removed. It's in the body of the stories, if you read it, where they were saying that Section 10 Sub 2 of the Electoral Act, which requires that a voter or a prospective or proposed voter who has come for registration must be physically present.
Okay.
And they are saying it should be removed. And I don't know why they want it to be removed. We should understand that Nigeria is still coming up. There are a lot of things we are still working to achieve. We will get there where nobody needs to be there physically. But for us right now, you have to be there physically.
So
that we will not hear tomorrow that people are creating voters register.
Is that what the CSOs are calling for?
That's one of their demands.
No.
So that we will not have
I think
situation
we
where
have
some
not, yes.
raising issues of voters registers.
Yeah.
That
we are still battling with
complete and
ghost
exactly.
voters and all of that.
Yes,
now you want people to register in absentia. So that means somebody could be in Maiduguri and register in Edo State, or somebody could be in Edo and be registering in Abuja.
Maybe what they're also looking at there is the issue of voters from the diaspora.
Yeah, but that should be INEC's duty to the way they have been able to, make this record this move with immigration, having Nigerians abroad to get their international passport without having to travel back to get new one or revalidate their old passports. What is the big deal with voters registered card? So if you could renew your passport while abroad, can't INEC partner with Nigerian Immigration Service, for example, and have this smooth registration? Because we have so many identity in Nigeria that we are not making use of. We have the NI, we have the BVN, we have international passport, we have driver's license. How have the government been able to harmonize these various data that you collect from Nigerians? Although some of the process, it is mostly the license and the voters registration card that could work hand in hand because of the age requirement. Because yes. I think you must be 18 before you can acquire a driver's license in Nigeria.
Yes.
So you must be 18 before you can vote. So why not look at similar requirement for database and use that to harmonize this data and have a way of partnering with international agencies, government agencies like the Nigerian Immigration, like I mentioned, and have this, because I think even if passport you can do passport for a baby, but they can differentiate and say, okay, for those that are coming for voters card, these are the data that we have, this is what you can do, and this is what you can do, and all of that. So I don't think you need to register a friend or a brother that is abroad because he's abroad. You want him not to be physically present at the registration unit. You want to go there by proxy and register him. That INEC should remove that from the electoral law, right?
Yes.
I don't think it should. I don't subscribe to that just the way you have rightly mentioned.
Yes.
So I don't know whether there's any other story from
finally, leadership. I saw a story very quickly.
Still leadership?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Where Wike said that no government can deal with all the problems of the country in 20 years.
Okay.
That was a statement credited
to
him.
He said no government can solve all problems even in 20 years. Wike. What's your take on that?
He's correct. He's very, very correct. But every government must show that we are taking steps.
Okay.
Every government must show that we are making progress.
Okay.
Before a baby walks, of course, he must crawl. So let a government that wants Nigeria to walk crawl, not to remain stagnant. That is all I want to say.
So if you want to walk in 10 years, you should be crawling.
You should be crawling now, not being stagnant.
Okay. So let's go to Blueprint there. Blueprint is talking about FIBA Women's Afro Basket. That is going across all the papers this morning. Like Super Falcons, Tinubu gift the Tigress $100,000 each. Houses, national honors. We have seen that over and over again. Below the nameplate, we have 2027 El-Rufai ADC leaders, threats to national unity. That story is reoccurring again here. APC is alleging that. And we have, let me just go straight below the picture and see. Okay, again, Wike reads Riot Act to property owners over unpaid ground rent in FCT. So when we go below the picture story, we have panic in Lagos over persistent rainfall. We had rain has fell for 12 hours in Lagos on non-stop, and of course, there's cause for worries when it begins to rain, like in a state like Lagos for over 12 hours non-stop. Of course, the issue of flooding, and that could NIMET is predicting thunderstorms in 10 states, 10 more states in addition to what is happening in Lagos. So on Blueprint, what do you have to say? What stories do you have to? I think we've talked about the Tigress and their reward, and okay, Do you have any story you want to react to on that blueprint? We have reacted to most of the stories. So let's quickly go to the Vanguard, which is the next on our list. It's still talking about the Tigress as the boldest headline. But above the nameplate, we have smell campaign against Ojulari aimed at derailing oil sector reforms. Group is alleging that. You know, of course, Ojulari's story was all over the news in the last 24 hours. There was a news that filtered in that he has resigned. And there was another news that he was declared wanted by the EFCC. And he was trying to attend to that on one hand. But the story did not come out clear. We neither heard that he reported at the EFCC, no, we heard that he has resigned. All we heard later was that he resumed at the office. So we don't know. That is the NNPC boss. So, and still above that nameplate, we have flash flood ground Lagos business paralyzed. Lagos business is paralyzed. Okay, flash flood ground Lagos business is paralyzed. We had the WAEC results. Only 38.2% of candidates passed English and maths. And we have high interest rates, insecurity, responsible for low economic growth. And below the picture, we have project. Tinubu has been fed to Southeast. Umahi is saying that. And we have US to international students. We will revoke your visa if you skip classes. ADC, APC, BICA, over attacks on Atiku El-Rufai. Quickly, do you have stories that you want to react to from the Vanguard pages this morning?
Well, we have talked about
before we call it a date.
We have talked about the issue of the Tigress.
Yeah.
And let me just restate that we need to get our reward system right. The issue of Tinubu being fed to the Southeast by Umahi, he is the Minister of Works, and he is from the Southeast. You see, this is one reason I keep telling people who care to listen. I, for one, do not believe there is anything like marginalization.
Okay.
If you marginalization is only the tail that is taken around by people who are not involved. Once you are involved, your story will be different. Mr. Umahi, or former Governor Umahi, is involved. So he cannot say that there is any that there is any problem. So he's the Minister for Works.
Yes.
One will expect that he's speaking with privileged information.
He's at the table.
He's at the table.
When you are called to the table, you have no time for arguments.
And I believe that he has information based on which he's saying that the Southeast that Tinubu has been fed to the Southeast. He's not the minister for any other thing but for works, which is the ministry that deals with most of these projects. Yeah. So we will leave it at that, and posterity will clear at the end of the day when the president's tenure is over. Okay,
well, it's a good place to anchor it today. We'll leave it like that. Let's just leave it at that at this moment. Barrister Ogochukwu P. Usibuzo is a lawyer and public affairs analyst, and it's always a pleasure to have you around whenever we call on you.
Thank you very much. I'm very grateful.
Yes, and that's how we call it a date today on the newspaper headlines. Of course, join us same time again for another top stories from our major newspapers next time on same station, Third Eye Africa TV. Remember, security is everybody's business, and we are here for community safety, investigative reporting, and of course, crime prevention. And from me, Charles Agedu, stay with us on this channel, Third Eye Africa TV.